hope this video helps or gives hope to people who are trying to re-examine their music career. So I'm trying to turn the screen into my stage and Patreon into my music school. Gigs sometimes have felt like, just play and they'll notice. Just play and look the part and then they'll notice. Just play and look the part and be chill but driven, but chill about being driven and they'll notice. And the goalpost is always moving. Meanwhile, trying to teach higher education has felt like, you just need a bachelor's. You just need a master's. You just need a doctorate. You just need a doctorate / worldwide recognition / know the faculty / and the goalpost keeps moving. I'm making this video as much for myself as I am for anyone else in this situation. The idea of not having any control, or at least such a high percentage of my career being left up to chance, doesn't exactly reduce anxiety or jaded feelings, especially given the past year. It's more and more often that I see musicians who are overqualified and underutilized. I can only speak for myself, but I think a lot of musicians don't really want fame like being Van Halen or Hendrix. They just want to be useful. I know I'd personally feel okay with not being credited or being a ghost guitarist if it meant I still preferably got paid and I got to put my stamp on a bunch of songs, because the music is what matters more to me than anything. So what are the options in this scenario? Besides hoping for good luck, the only way I can guarantee that I'll have some opportunities to be creative and teach is to make the opportunities myself. As far as being creative, I've actually tried this approach and failed-ish. I figured if I wanted a good amount of studio experience and time being creative with music I really loved, I should just start a band that would go into the studio to record and write music that hopefully I love. I did that with my bands in college, with my band Bright and Loud, and lately under my own name. Each time in the studio was an inspiring learning experience, as was writing and arranging all the songs. Each time was even more fun than the last because I had more and more experience to draw from. That sounds great. Where's the failure? Well, voice in my head, that plan failed in creating a long-lasting or significant financial impact. That's why it's only failed-ish. Learning that I would have a higher chance of people listening to my albums if I was well known for something that doesn't involve making albums was my first experience into the current state of music making. I remember seeing a statistic somewhere that like 40,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every day. So even if people would like my music, there's lottery level odds of them even getting to it. Thanks to that experience though, I know I'm going to have to be more business savvy with my next try, which is YouTube, Twitch, and Patreon. Just as an aside, full disclosure, I don't have a ton of experience on these platforms, but as someone whose entire career was in real life, I've had to take them more seriously than ever. For a lot of my fellow musicians, I know they saw themselves on a stage, not on a screen. But I just changed my perspective on the platforms, and I'm able to get a lot of enjoyment out of it just like I would being on stage. If you're still hesitant to lean into your online presence, I hope these perspective shifts can help you. So here's how I view them. At this point, I like to think of my YouTube channel as my own stage, where more people have watched me play solo guitar than in real life, where I have the weekly opportunity to edutain and create. The limits of what I can post are really only the limits of my imagination, editing skills, and maybe a little bit of copyright law. I see Twitch as sort of an office hours or backstage hang, because it's always a much more informal setting. As far back as 2012, I really wanted to start a podcast just because I liked the idea of it and I enjoyed listening to them so much. Twitch actually kind of seems like a podcast, except it's like a live interactive streamcast. I've organized my Patreon as a sort of school, with obviously way lower rates because I don't need to rent a space. There are recordings and PDFs, but also personalized practice routines, as well as a group lesson. I enjoyed my theory and ear training courses at college, but what I enjoyed most were the private lessons and labs, which were like a group lesson around a specific idea like solo guitar or the blues. So I'm organizing my Patreon as my favorite parts of music school, from a person who's qualified to teach at a college for way cheaper than college. I'm happy to charge less because it means I don't have to drive to and from a store, with the store taking up to 33% off the top before taxes of my hourly rate. I think this is a fun avenue to try for myself and any other musicians who would gig and teach anyway, since it's a very clear online equivalent. As I mentioned in the beginning, I really just hope this video helps or gives hope to people trying to re-examine their music career. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.